You're about to learn four compliments that are so strong and so unforgettable that they stay inside a woman's thoughts long after you stop talking. But before I explain them, let me ask you something honest. How many times have you told a woman you are beautiful only to get that same polite smile, a quick thank you, and then nothing else? You know, the smile I mean, the one that quietly ends the conversation instead of opening a door. Here is the truth most men never think about. If she is attractive, she has already heard you are pretty more times than she can count, probably just this week alone. To her, it becomes background noise. It is like handing someone a prize just for showing up. It is pleasant, but it leaves no mark. And here is the darker psychological truth that most men miss completely. Ordinary compliments destroy attraction instead of building it. They solve the mystery too quickly. You are pretty. You are funny. You are smart. End of story. The puzzle is finished. There is nothing left to wonder about. No tension, no spark, no curiosity. But what if your words did not close the puzzle? What if they open one instead? What if your compliment planted a question in her mind that stayed there, turning over and over, even days later when you were not around? That is exactly what these four forbidden compliments do. And I call them forbidden because once you use them properly, you cannot undo their effect. They activate something deeper in her mind. Not her ego, not her vanity, but her emotions, her curiosity, and her sense of identity. They make her wonder what you see in her. They make her feel the urge to live up to your words. And they quietly shift the situation so she becomes the one investing energy into you. So, if you have ever asked yourself why simple compliments fall flat or why certain men seem unforgettable without even trying hard, listen closely because once you understand these four compliments, you will never blend into. The background again. Let us move directly into the first forbidden compliment. And once you truly understand why it works, you will never think about praise the same way again. The first forbidden compliment is this: you have this energy about you that I cannot quite explain. Now, before you assume that sounds plain or unimpressive, let me explain why this is psychological gold. Most men hand women the answer immediately. You are beautiful. Done. You are funny. Done. You are intelligent. Done. That kind of praise feels nice for a moment, but it is predictable and forgettable. It does not slow her down. It does not make her curious. But when you say you have this energy, I cannot quite put my finger on, you create an unfinished loop. You introduce a puzzle, and her mind automatically wants to solve it. Here is what starts happening inside her thoughts almost instantly. What energy is he talking about? What does he notice in me? What makes me different? Why can he not describe it clearly? And just like that, you are inside her head. She repeats your words to herself. And every time she does, she is also thinking about you. Let me share a real experience. I was once at a party, and instead of hearing the usual line like, "You look great tonight," a man looked at me and said, "You have this presence that makes people around you relax." I noticed it the second you walked in. That comment stayed with me for weeks, not hours, not days, weeks. I replayed it again and again. Was it the way I smiled, the way I moved, the way I spoke to people? What was he seeing that others missed? And here is the powerful part. Every single time that thought returned, he returned with it. That is the strength of this compliment. Timing matters. Do not walk up to a stranger and say this immediately or it will sound rehearsed. Instead, wait until you have already shared a moment. Maybe she told a story. Maybe she laughed in a certain way. Maybe you noticed how she treats people around her. That is your opening. You can say things like, "You have this way of making people feel comfortable that I cannot explain." Or, "There is something about how you think that feels different from anyone else I have met." Or, "You carry yourself in a way that changes the mood of the room." And here is the most important part. When she asks, "What do you mean?" do not explain it. Just smile and say, "I am still trying to figure that out." Trust me, she will spend the next hour and maybe even the next week showing you more of herself so you can figure it out. That is when you know she is emotionally engaged. Now, if you think the first compliment is powerful, the second one is even more intense because it does not just make her feel mysterious. It makes her want to open up in ways she normally does not. The second forbidden compliment is this: I get the feeling you are the kind of person who has stories most people never get to hear. This works because every woman without exception feels that there are sides of her people never truly see. She may appear confident. She may dress a certain way. She may play a role among friends, but deep inside she knows there are hidden layers, private interests, and untold experiences. Maybe she loves science even though everyone thinks she only cares about social life. Maybe she writes poetry late at night. Maybe she has dreams or past moments she rarely shares because people would not expect them. When you say this, you're communicating something powerful without saying it directly. You're saying, I see beyond the surface. I believe there is more to you, and I am interested in those unseen parts. That is deeply attractive. Psychologically, this works on several levels. First, it makes her feel complex and interesting, not obvious. Second, it creates curiosity. She starts wondering what exactly you think her hidden stories are. Third, it makes her want to prove you right. She will feel an urge to share something personal, a hobby, a memory, or a dream just to confirm your perception. I remember a man once said to me, I feel like you are the type of person who has at least 3 interests that would surprise people. Without thinking, I started listing things. My obsession with true crime podcasts, my small collection of old postcards, and my secret love for music from the 90s. I revealed so much without realizing it because I wanted to match what he saw in me. And here is the psychological hook. The more I shared, the more connected I felt because he was the one who seemed to understand me. This works best when she has already said something small that does not fit her image. Maybe she mentions a random interest. Maybe she reacts in an unexpected way. That is your moment. You can say you seem like someone who has been to places that are not on any tourist map. Or I get the feeling you have skills people would never guess. Or it feels like there are chapters of your life people would love to read if they knew. Then pause. Do not rush. Let her choose what to share. When she opens up, emotional closeness forms naturally. Now, prepare yourself for the third forbidden compliment because this one does something different. It shifts the power and changes how she sees the connection. The third forbidden compliment is this: I cannot tell if you're going to be really good for me or really dangerous. This is not for beginners. Most compliments place women above you. You are amazing. You're stunning. You are perfect. While those sound nice, they put her on a pedestal and turn you into a fan. She holds the power. She decides your value. But this compliment flips the dynamic. When you say you are not sure if she is good for you or dangerous, you are showing interest while also showing standards. You are not chasing. You are evaluating. You are saying, I see your appeal, but I also value myself enough to be cautious. That mix of attraction and self-respect is rare, and it creates tension. It makes her wonder what she needs to show you. So you see her as good for you, and suddenly she is the one trying to qualify herself in your eyes. Women find it hard to resist. The psychology behind this explains why it works so effectively. Women are naturally attracted to men who have choices and who are not easily impressed. You are not just another guy collapsing at her feet. You are someone who can challenge her energy and her expectations. She starts wondering, wait, what does he mean by dangerous? Does he see me as exciting or as trouble? And here is the twist. Dangerous is not an insult at all. In this context, it is about attraction. You are saying she has the power to shake up your world and get under your skin. That is not just a sweet comment. It is something that stays with her. I remember one time after I made a sarcastic joke about a guy's drink. Instead of getting annoyed, he looked straight into my eyes and said, I am starting to think you might be dangerous for my peace of mind. And let me tell you, that single sentence stayed in my head for days. Was I dangerous? What exactly did he mean by that? Was it a good kind of dangerous? Did he like the fact that I challenged him? And every time those questions replayed in my mind, I was thinking about him. That is the real power of this forbidden compliment. This is not something you say randomly or without awareness. It works best in moments of playful tension when she is teasing you, pushing your buttons, or being confidently bold. You can say things like, I am starting to think you might be trouble when she challenges you, or if she does something unexpectedly sweet right after being sassy. You could also say, I cannot tell if you are an angel or if you are about to completely ruin my plans. When she surprises you with her sharp wit, Tell her, I think you are going to be dangerous for my productivity. The way you deliver it matters just as much as the words. Say it slowly with a soft smile, like you are honestly trying to figure her out. That is what makes it feel genuine instead of sounding like a rehearsed pickup line. And now comes the final forbidden compliment, the one that does not just touch her heart, but goes straight into her mind. Because when you admire the way she thinks, not just how she looks, that is when you become unforgettable. The fourth forbidden compliment is this: you think differently than anyone I have ever met. And I cannot tell if that is going to inspire me or drive me crazy. Let's be honest for a moment. Most men rarely compliment a woman on her mind. They focus on her looks, her outfit, or her body. But when you truly notice and admire how her brain works, you separate yourself from almost every other man. This compliment feels powerful because it makes her feel attractive in an intellectual way. She is used to being told she is pretty. But how often does someone genuinely admire the way she thinks? That kind of attention is rare. It also tells her that she is unique. You are not just calling her smart. You are saying her mind stands out from everyone else. It creates tension because she is left wondering what effect she really has on you. It feels like a challenge and a connection at the same time. I will never forget when a guy said something like this to me after I shared a strange theory about coffee and personality types. Instead of brushing it off or just calling it interesting, he leaned back and said, "Your brain goes places I never would have imagined, and I do not know if that is fascinating or a little scary." I was completely hooked because he made my thoughts feel powerful. Save this compliment for deeper conversations when she is opening up about her ideas, opinions, or passions. You can say things like, "The way you just explained that is so different from how I think." "I cannot decide if I should be nervous or excited." Or, "You see things from angles I would never even consider." Spending time with you might completely change how I see the world. You could also say, "Your perspective is so unique. I feel like you are either going to teach me something incredible or totally mess with my head." And here is the real secret. Once you say it, follow it up with genuine curiosity. Ask her questions. Let her explain more. Let her go deeper. Because when a woman feels that a man truly values not only her beauty, but also the way her mind works, she feels seen on the deepest level. That is when fascination begins. Now, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture for a moment, because I know what you might be thinking. Why do these forbidden compliments work when normal compliments fail? It all comes down to psychology. Regular compliments are like fast food. They feel good in the moment, but they are quickly forgotten. "You are pretty." She has heard that many times before. "You are funny." That is nice, but very common. Forbidden compliments are more like a mystery novel. They do not give her a clear answer. Instead, they leave her with questions. They make her think, replay the moment, and wonder what you really meant. And every time she replays it in her mind, she is thinking about you. Here is what all of these compliments have in common. First, they create mystery. Instead of closing the loop, you are not giving her a final conclusion. You are offering clues and letting her imagination do the rest. Second, they make her feel unique without putting yourself beneath her. You are not worshiping her, but you are showing real interest. That balance makes her feel special while keeping attraction alive. Third, they shift the power dynamic. Instead of you trying hard to impress her, she begins trying to live up to the intriguing things you have noticed. She starts investing effort in you. Fourth, they go deeper. Then surface level attraction. You are noticing her energy, her depth, her unpredictability, and her mind. Each compliment touches something that most men completely overlook. These are not magic spells or cheap tricks. They work because they are honest observations that connect with her psychology. You are not just memorizing lines. You are paying attention. You are noticing the things about her that others miss, and you're expressing them in a way that creates curiosity instead of ending the conversation. That is what makes you unforgettable. Think about it. Anyone can tell her she is pretty. Anyone can say she has a nice smile. But when you are the one who makes her feel like a mystery worth exploring, when you are the one who appreciates her unspoken stories, her unpredictable side, and the way her mind works, that is when you stop being just another guy. You become the man she thinks about late at night, the one she wants to prove right, and the one she wants to understand. And that is exactly why these are called forbidden compliments. If this opened your eyes, hit that like button right now because this is only the beginning of what I am going to teach you about attraction and psychology. Subscribe to Dark Psychology for more insights that most men will never learn, the kind that make women chase you. And tell me in the comments below, which of these 4 forbidden compliments are you most excited to try first? Remember, this is Amelia here, and as always, be genuine, stay curious, and watch what happens.